Please join me in congratulating Mr. Colin Carruthers QC as we recognise his outstanding contribution to the law and service to the justice system of New Zealand.
The last time I stood on this stage was to shake hands with Mr. Aubrey Bagent, the then headmaster, when I was a candidate for university scholarship exams. The procedure was that separately, each candidate came onto the stage, shook hands with the headmaster, and was encouraged by his telling you his expectations of the results to be achieved. That incident, that occasion, was a reflection of the ethic which the headmaster had engendered in the school. The new headmaster brought a new discipline to the school. It resulted in some resentment and some teething troubles among the senior school, who were used to a much more relaxed approach to discipline. Professor Butcher mentioned Grub Tate, and he certainly was a generous and genuine man. At all events, those stories about those days are for another day. Although the school had always had a strong record of academic achievement, Mr. Bagent brought a greater balance to the sporting, cultural and academic achievements of the school. After the initial period to which I referred, there was a remarkable atmosphere of cooperation and respect between staff and pupils. It was very much a mutual state of affairs. Indeed, my Latin master, of whom I shall say more in a moment, said that of the 5 schools at which he taught in his career, the atmosphere at this school was the most remarkable in terms of the quality of the relationship between staff and pupils. So it's against this background that it is such an honour to be inducted into the school's Hall of Fame. It came to me as a complete surprise. You will not see my name on any honours board in the school, academic, sporting or otherwise. In this respect, though, I expect I was like most of the other boys at school. Apart from those who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame already, there are many ex-pupils whose names come to mind with some immediacy, and those who have achieved remarkably in their adult life. Just as the theme for what I'd like to convey to you, is that I want to turn now and say a word or two about the school motto and its real significance for me. Although sapiens translates as a wise man, to my mind, the wisdom is not academic learning or achievement in the sense of being recognised as intellectually wise. Rather, it connotes wisdom as meaning sensible. So for me, the starting point is to look at what a sensible man would do with his life. The balance of the motto about seeking one's own fortune brings us to Fortuna. Again, for me, fortune is not about wealth or money. It's about achievement. And achievement in the sense of choosing a career path in life which you want to follow, pursuing it, and enjoying it as something you want to do and not something you have to do. Contentment is a very important part of fortune. Sometimes I wonder how I came to be here today on this stage. So let me give you just a quick thumbnail sketch of my background. My choice was a career in law. For reasons which I cannot now account, I wanted to be a lawyer from my days at primary school. After leaving school, I went to Auckland University. I remember it being a daunting experience, largely because of the confidence and boastfulness of many of those who had attended the major Auckland schools. I graduated with an honours degree. I was recommended by the Dean of the Law Faculty for a position with the Auckland office of a Wellington law firm. I worked in Auckland for 2.5 years, during which time I was admitted as a barrister and solicitor of what was then the Supreme Court of New Zealand. I was then transferred to Wellington. I was admitted to partnership in the firm. I continued to work there for just over 17 years. My career path then took me into practice as a barrister. I was appointed Queen's Counsel in 1990, and my practice continues to this day. For virtually the whole of my professional career, I have worked as a litigation lawyer. I am a trial lawyer. I do the stand-up and deliver work. And my wide range of work has resulted in appearances in major cases in all of New Zealand's courts, and as you heard, including the Privy Council in London, while we had appeals to that body. I mentioned contentment as an element of fortune. For my part, I have enjoyed my life as a barrister. I derive huge satisfaction from seeing the justice system work efficiently and effectively. And given the chance, I would do it all again. But fortune is not all about work either. Fortune is about a balance in life. And this is where family and friends become very important. They are part of that balance in life. And let me illustrate the point from among those who support me as my guest today. My wife, Deborah Coddington, is an award-winning journalist, an author, a broadcaster, a former Member of Parliament, and someone whose support and strength has meant that I have been able to achieve what I have achieved in the time we've been together. With me are two of my sons, Andrew and Paul. They have given up a day's work in Wellington to be with me here today. My brother David is an ex-pupil of the school also. He has come from Melbourne in Australia to be with me. Murray Cook is my brother-in-law. He was married to my late sister Janet, who is David's twin. She was a Hamilton Girls High School old girl. My sister Robin and her partner Pete are here. I'll say more about Robin in a moment. They are from Auckland and again have given up time to be here. Ray Bratton is a friend of mine from our time at Hillcrest Primary School. He is an ex-pupil. He was a prefect at school. He lives in Sydney, Australia, and has come to be here today. Bill Wilson is a friend of mine from Wellington. Like me, he is Queen's Counsel. Unlike me, he is a New Plymouth High School old boy, and I thought I'd better bring him for balance. We always enjoy those games when Waikato plays Taranaki. Rather unkindly, Bill reminded me that on Saturday the Hurricanes play the Chiefs in Wellington and asked me what I was going to do. I got to concede that I will be barracking for the Chiefs again. So I mentioned my Latin master earlier. Stan Walker, or Mr. Walker as he was, taught me for 3 years before he moved on to Selwyn College. And ironically, he was at Selwyn College when my sister Robin was there, so he taught her too. After I left school, Stan and I had some desultory contact until the mid-1990s. I was involved in a major case which received a lot of publicity, and in the course of the case, Stan wrote to me with the result that we had a lengthy exchange of correspondence and kept in touch for a period. The correspondence was peppered with references to Caesar's campaigns and illusions of comparison to my case. By chance, very recently, Stan's name came up in conversation in Wellington. I got a contact for him, and when I told him of the honour I was to receive, there was no question but that he was going to be there. So at 93 years of age, and still as sharp as a tack, he is behind me in the audience today. And equally remarkable is that his driver from Auckland was my PE master at school, John Sandos, and he is approaching that magic age as well. So when I speak of fortune and refer to family and friends, what greater tribute is there than to have family and friends of the kind that I have talked to you about? And what greater tribute is there to school spirit than the way in which those two masters of mine have responded to my honour? I've always been proud to be a state schoolboy from Hamilton, and I've always made it a point of pride that I am a Hamilton Boys High School old boy. So from this happy occasion, I shall return to my daily work on a crusade for justice. I shall also return to my home in Martinborough, to our vineyard and winery, and the making of stunningly good wines, particularly Pinot Noir. Thank you all for honouring the occasion. It's one that I shall never forget.